To reverse cross, who says hemlock theory is relative moralism. First of all, I notice I believe you are Christian. You are not in any shape or manner to believe that you are the beholder of objective morality. There are many, many sources to saying why this is. My personal opinion is Christianity is not the route to morality, especially with the New Testament. All it is a myth about some guy who was a rabbi or an ex-rabbi in some extreme fringe cult learning how to work with the angels of God through occult techniques. I really do think that. And when you're dealing with something that's basically spiritual in nature, it is not a source of objective morality, nor is it a source to guide yourself on what is ethical. However, I am going to explain why hemlock theory is objective morality. First, here's the thing. Right now, we got in America a corruption problem with the corporations. They have hijacked the democratic process. Both sides agree that the corporations need to be taken out. Why is this not doing it? Because those on the right, on the Republican side, the Christians and the pro-gun people, are afraid of the Democrats taking over and taking away their privileges and their guns. And on the left, you got the minorities who are afraid if the right takes over, they'll be discriminated against. I don't believe that. Then you've got the gays who are afraid of the Christians if they take over and the Republicans wins, that they're going to have laws based against them. Okay, yeah, I can see that. And then you got the illegals who are afraid that if the Republicans take over, they run the risk of getting deported. So now, as long as you got this division in America of left versus right, you ain't going to get people unified to get shit done. And as long as this division of people are afraid of the left and the right, of each other, the corporations at the top buy both sides. So they got the unity, so they get what they fucking want. And while we're here being played for fools. So the problem with that is these corporations only care about one thing: money. And they're not very good at thinking long-term money. They don't think about the big picture. They think about the short-term picture. What has happened is that when these people start sinking their hooks into it, they finally get able to uninstall the Glass-Steagall Act, which led to a boom and a big-ass bust. You know why the Glass-Steagall Act was installed? To prevent another thing of the Great Depression. Now, I remember talking to some liberal on some damn liberal forum, and I tried to point it out, all these problems, that both sides are doing it, and he started agreeing with the Republicans, but I was saying the same thing for Democrats, and he was calling me racist, sexist, all that stuff. He was doing the same thing that Hillary Clinton did. Every time you criticize her on her bad behavior, oh, you just hate her because she's a woman. Oh, you just hate her. You see the problem here. And for those who are involved in Gamergate, I wasn't. People just wanted corruption out of the gaming journalism. But anytime you criticize these people, they would hide behind it and say these people are misogynists, these are people are sexist. Now, with the corruption, what happened is it led to the Glass-Steagall Act being repealed, which led to the boom of the 90s, some people. Then it led to the bust of the 2008, the subprime mortgage crisis, which ended up ruining lives, getting people thrown out of their homes and destroying entire economies like Iceland's. Now you got this rum-dum who isn't going to stand up for what is right and just call me sexist, racist, homophobe, and all that every time I point that out. Yet, the last time there was a big, great economic disaster was the Great Depression, pre-World War II. Just ask any Jew who still remembers that time how that worked out. During great economic disasters, radicalization goes up the roof. And that means people of the racist bent become more intense and more popular. And they end up gaining power. So, when you're pointing out corruption in America, you're trying to prevent more disasters like this. Yet when you do, you get called bigot, sexist, racist, asshole. Basically that. And that made me wonder, what is going through these fucking people's heads? Just like this person, only on a smaller scale, will trade racists for rapists. Wouldn't it be great to prevent harm to other people? What is fucking wrong with this person? Well, I'll tell you why. I started asking myself, why do people do what this woman do? Why do people defend things from their leaders when they're obviously doing things to take advantage of them and hurt them? There's right now, I'm going to go through a list of it, and I started going through reading about cults, psychological abuse, domestic violence, psychotherapy, social psychology, to come to the conclusion. And I'll give a couple reasons for this. First of all, right now on Twitter, there's this woman named Hannah. She is a psychopath. I mean a sociopath. And what she does is she routinely abuses people who are men, and they fall in love with her. And what they do is they start doing things for her to please her. She bullies them and fucks them up emotionally, and the more fucked up they are, the more loyal and dedicated they become to her. It's gotten to the point where she's gotten a few of them almost commit suicide. And then she gets these people who are messed up in the head, who are lovers, who are suffering Stockholm Syndrome, that go out and get her more followers. And then she gets, from what I heard, this is just rumor, that she gets gifts, she gets money, and all she has to do is treat these people like shit and fuck them up in the head. How's that any different than letting Clinton doing her way of doing all the things she's done? How's that any different? And so around this person, you can see a micro-government forming. And you can see similarities between that and the most repressive and most unequal and most horrid regimes. Now, with this, I also noticed with my mother's behavior, she had the same thought processes as this. Is she would always blame others for her failures, and you couldn't reason with her. She would always think about the worst things. She will always care about the most petty things over the things over the things that were the most mattered. And I'm just saying that what's going on with these people who will trade racists for rapists is these people are emotionally unstable. The reason why they're emotionally stable, after reading all this cults, is their ideology is designed to make them psychologically fucked up. When you fuck someone up psychologically, they suffer Stockholm Syndrome, just like this woman Hannah on Twitter. What ends up happening is they overlook every wrongdoing. They'll overlook rape. They'll overlook being abused. They overlook being stolen from. They'll overlook everything. Every wrongdoing you can think of, if you're emotionally screwed up, you're either doing or you're letting someone in charge of you do it to you. Now, once someone's emotionally better, that shit don't fly anymore. That shit stops. So if you want to think about the basis of my moral philosophy, my philosophy is if you get rid of all the things that are causing psychological and emotional harm, you will create moral human beings. And you will stop all the immorality in the world.